Do you feel like your fasting is what helped you be able to conceive?
100%.
Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching The Healthy Alternative. We're excited to get things rolling with Cheyenne on purpose. Cheyenne on purpose is going to be chatting with us today. We're going to be talking about her wellness journey, what she's accomplished up until this date, and yeah, just kind of getting to the nuts and bolts of it. So if you're ready, strap in. We're going to get started right now. So let's ease into this. How long have you been with the AHA community?
I've been with the AHA community since 2019.
So what were you seeking at that time? How did you come across us? Was it by mistake or were you looking for something?
It was an intentional search for sure. I was getting into fasting, water fasting, because of, I believe it was for weight loss. But I'm always been a person who's doing some type of cleanse, some type of detox just to improve my health overall. So I found out about water fasting through a different group. And that was cool because I got results, but I didn't get the experience that I was looking for as far as like people who look like me. So I literally did that intentional search, like Afrocentric fasting, like, I was just doing all
Uh,
types of stuff like that. And it came up.
I didn't even think about it from that point of view. But you're not the first person that's mentioned that they're just happy that there's a community that looks like them that's talking about this stuff. Was the transition of fasting easy for you, or what was that experience like?
I think it was more so simple than it was easy because it was just like, all I do is drink water, for as long as I can do it.
Mm.
And in the beginning, I kind of had a difficulty with psyching myself out with schedules after I had done it. So, for instance, like when I did my first water fast, it was 5 days, but I started out with just saying, if I can make it through 48 hours, if I still feel good, I'll keep going. And that was a lot easier and for me to make it to 5 days. But then after that, I was like, okay, I did 5 days. And now I can, plan another 5 day and then plan a 10 day. And when I started getting into that mindset, it was over with and I couldn't do it on my own. I needed help.
Mm.
So the ease came in where I just kind of allowed it to flow better.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So, infertility is an issue that I think we're seeing in the culture holistically, but just in America, the infertility rates are really high. And I'm just curious, do you feel like your fasting is what helped you be able to conceive?
100%. Yeah. Cause before I started the first 5 day water fast, I was actually experiencing issues with like cysts. So
Mm.
they would grow and burst, and I'd be in pain and I'd try to figure
Mm.
out what's going on. They do ultrasounds and they're like, oh yeah, you have these cysts are growing. And I'm just like, well, what is this? They didn't give me a diagnosis because she said that it was normal. And I don't think that there was normal at all because I was like, these are exploding and I'm in
Right.
incredible pain. So yeah, nothing normal about that. It wasn't happening in 25 years at the time of my life. But at 26, that's when I experienced that. So, like I said, I looked into more holistic healing and water fasting came up. Also, I wasn't menstruating at the time either. My 28-day cycle, like I wasn't having a bleeding phase at all, and that was like for 3 months. And I thought it was because of birth control, but I had stopped taking birth control like 5 or 6 months prior
Mm.
because it was making my cycle irregular. And I was just like, okay, let me just take that out.
Mm.
Took it out, period didn't come back, and I had the cyst thing. I started fasting. This literally the second that it started, the clock hit 24 hours, my period came back. And
Wow.
yeah, just from 24 hours of water fasting alone. So it was a really interesting process, but that was definitely 100% the reason why I got pregnant because I wasn't getting pregnant before.
The birth control is probably likely part of the reason why that you were having those issues.
Mm.
Obviously, you could have it. There's women that's told me that they have those issues and they've never had birth control. But I think it's important to understand. Like my mom used to say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So
Mm.
when we look at our dis-ease in America especially, they hit us from 100 different angles. Like,
Right.
and I think that the reason for that is to make sure that there's a certain percentage of people that are sick, because the body is so amazing at protecting us and keeping us healthy that if you only hit it from one angle, we wouldn't really react. So they got
Right.
to hit you from your birth control to your, the medication you might take for a headache, to the feminine hygiene products, to the
Ooh,
food, to the clothes, to the detergents, like
right.
soaps and
Right.
stuff. Like it all creates that scenario, and then it'll just be that one thing that kind of the straw that broke the camel's
Tips it.
back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when you did your first 5 day, you experienced your cycle coming back. That's huge, I think, especially
Mm-hmm.
for women who deal with irregular cycles or heavy bleeding or no bleeding, like just things that seem unusual. Um, I've seen, not me personally, but from firsthand experience, other people telling me,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some pretty amazing things happen with women's cycles and their body, whether it's cysts, polyps, etc.
Right.
What else did you experience that was significant for you?
It's always been hormonal thing for sure. Because like I said, every time it was pregnancy was the like full benefit. Because of course, like in 5 days, I did release 25 pounds, which was really outstanding because I was not expecting to lose any weight at all, which is
Right.
probably why I got pregnant because I didn't know how to act. But who knows?
Ah.
Who knows the truth of that?
Uh,
But yeah, I also just noticed like I was feeling a lot better. Like my energy was through the roof. I noticed also that like I was recovering from things a lot better, like not only physically, but emotionally and spiritually. Like I was just like seeing things a lot differently.
what would you say has been one of the most interesting things that you learned, or one of the hardest truths to accept? Like maybe something that you learned that was like really hard for you to accept.
More recently, and because it has probably been the only thing, more recently I actually came to that thing. I can't say realization, but I guess I'll say it for lack of a better word. But that I was afraid to get better because I thought that maybe the people that I love, even though they love me and they say that they, want to see me grow and everything, but I was afraid that the better I get, they would actually change their minds and not want to be around me because I'm continuing to improve myself. Because I know me, I know that even when I, pass through the tape of the race, this journey, that I'm still going to want to do more things. I'm not just going to, stay there and be like, all right, cool. So now I can just go back to doing what I was doing, but in this body, because that's not how it's going to work. If I do
Right.
that, then I won't have that body anymore. And so, yeah, that's been the biggest thing for me lately, just realizing like, I'm a little afraid of that.
Mm. I did want to talk a little bit about the 40-day wellness class, because we're actually going to be relaunching the 40-day wellness class, but we're going to be doing a digital version of it. But what was that experience like for you? Why did you join the 40-day class? And, what are some of the things you got from being in it?
It was perfect, like perfect timing for me because when I was doing my research on, finding a group, I found you guys a little bit before that. And then when I said, okay, I'm going to reach out and get a one-on-one consultation, then you guys dropped that video about it. So I took that as a sign and I just joined from there. And that completely changed my life from that point on because I was able to see a lot more about myself. It was just like a never ending thing that I hadn't even realized. Just so many different depths of myself. And I really love myself. So I was really excited about that because I was like, okay, awesome. I thought I knew it all, but I really don't. So now I got more and I love to learn. I love to research. I love to, collect data and, put it back together, reset it. Like, so I was just doing that with myself the whole 40 days.
That's dope. That's like being able to peel back the layers of yourself. Um, One of the things that I think is very eye-opening for people to take that class, especially, is understanding that there's a whole subconscious side of us that rules us the majority of the time that we really are completely unaware of because it's subconscious.
Oh yeah.
And being able to tap into those programs and determine what's running and that we don't want to be running, and or what program can we run that would be more beneficial, and how to kind of manipulate that, I think it just opens up a brand new world of discovery. And
Right.
for me, like this, the more that I learned about health and wellness, the more I realized what I didn't know. So
100.
you're just constantly learning, and it's so expansive.
Oh yeah.
Um, what was the retreat like for you? What was that experience like?
It was so heartwarming. Like being in the environment of just learning and observing other people who are in the same boat as me. Like it kind of gave me that feeling of like church, but without the guilt.
Very
like,
interesting.
like it was just like, just be here, just be free, and enjoy, but not only enjoy, but not enjoy in the way that we've been brought up to think, because you think like, oh, we're going to enjoy. So now, break out the drinks, break out the cheese, break out the bread. Like,
Mhm.
no, it was like, enjoy and break out the juice, break out the fruit, break out the
Right.
salads. And it was like, yeah, this actually feels good. That was really amazing for me, because I brought home a lot of really good tools that I still use to this day.
Beautiful. Yeah, it was funny because people told me they were reluctant about coming because they thought when they got there it was going to be a certain way. They kept
Mm.
saying, "Oh, I figured there's going to be a whole bunch of skinny people trying to tell me what to do," and it was some really bad preconceived notions that I guess came from other retreats and things that they had done.
Mm.
But they were pleasantly surprised of how warm the environment was, and we're all in the same boat, we're all a family. So
Mhm.
this has been an amazing experience. I definitely want to have you come back on because I think that this is just one part of your journey. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, any tools or anything that you used throughout your journey that you think have been very helpful or beneficial?
Definitely balancing my energy. Taking that moment to reflect at every moment. One of the exercises that, and I can't remember the name of it, but I think it was a MEPS check,
Yep.
and the mental, emotional, physical,
Mm-hmm.
and spiritual.
Spiritual. Mm-hmm.
And yes, I do that all the time. I have to make sure that I'm good. Okay, what's going on? What am I thinking about? How do I feel? Because our emotions are driving our consciousness, even if we're not, wanting to pay attention to it. So emotionally, mentally, spiritually, I'm always bogged down emotionally, personally these days.
Mm.
But I think it's mostly just because I have two young children. So, and I work full time. So it's just always pulling at my heartstrings, So I always got to figure it out. Okay, I'm upset, but I don't need something to eat. What do I need to do? Reflect. I have like hundreds of journals. I keep my AHA journal on my desk. I got my other AHA journal over here. I got my a couple are in the car. I just make sure that I keep them around, because I can reflect and journal that way. And then I can keep a record to say that whenever something like this is going on, maybe I think about this type of food, maybe I think about this type of experience. And so I think that that's really, really important. And it's been helping me continue to move forward, because I know that. So I'm like, okay, that know better, do better thing. So it's
Mm.
like, I know that. So now I won't do that.
Right.
Like, but yeah, I think that that's something that a lot of people should get into if they're not already into it.
It helps you be more intentional. It helps keep you accountable. That self accountability is important, which is why we created the accountability group. If you're
Mhm.
interested in the accountability group, I'll put a link in the description of the video. But I appreciate you. It's the 4th of July for those who don't know. So you took your time out of your holiday, and I appreciate that. If you all enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. And I will see you all next time.